Okay, so what we're about to unpack here is a story that's, well, it's pretty chilling. It connects a modern interrogation manual directly to a top secret government program from decades ago. And the wildest part? We know it's all true because it comes straight from declassified documents. So take a look at this. This is Birdman's chart of coercion. It lays out 8 different methods. We're talking isolation, threats, degradation, the whole shebang, all designed for one single purpose: to completely shatter a person's will to resist. And this isn't some dusty historical artifact, okay? Declassified training manuals show this exact chart was used to train American interrogators at Guantanamo Bay. They just gave it a new, sanitized name: coercion management techniques. So the big question is, right, where did these horrifying techniques even come from? Well, to answer that, we have to jump back in time to the Cold War and a nationwide panic over one single terrifying new word. All right, let's trace this thing back to where it all started. Get this. The chart they used at Guantanamo was basically just a copy-paste job from a 1957 Air Force report. And look at the original title: Communist Coercive Methods for Eliciting False Confessions. This was never about getting the truth. It was a study of how to make people lie. And that leads us to that terrifying new word, brainwashing. It was literally invented to describe what was happening to American POWs coming home from the Korean War. Imagine your soldiers return, but they're confessing to war crimes they never committed and suddenly praising communism. The fear was absolutely palpable. And that fear, this idea that the enemy had found a key to unlock and reprogram the human mind, well, that kicked off a desperate, top-secret race. The CIA's answer was Project MKUltra. For 25 years, this secret and totally illegal program wasn't just about defending against brainwashing. No, the goal was much bigger. They wanted to master it. They wanted to turn it into a weapon. Now, when you start to dig into what MKUltra actually was, the sheer scale of it is, honestly, it's staggering. It was operating in the shadows of some of America's most respected institutions. I mean, just look at their toolbox. This was not subtle stuff. We're talking everything from LSD and hypnosis to massive electroshock and even implanting electrodes directly into people's brains. And the craziest part, this wasn't all happening in some secret underground bunker. The CIA was funneling money to researchers at places you've definitely heard of, like Harvard, Yale, and McGill. And they threw a ton of money at it, over $25 million. A lot of that was funneled through front organizations, which means the researchers themselves often had no idea who was really signing the checks. So all this secret research and these dark theories, well, they had a very real and very devastating human cost. This is where it all became a reality for people who had no idea they were guinea pigs. Take what happened in Montreal at the Allen Memorial Institute. A famous psychiatrist, Dr. Ewan Cameron, conducted some of the most brutal experiments for the CIA on his own patients. People who came to him for help with things like anxiety were unknowingly swept into this nightmare. Cameron's theory was terrifyingly simple. Step 1, depatterning. You basically had to erase the existing mind. He used massive doses of electroshock and put patients into drug-induced comas for weeks. Then, once the slate was supposedly wiped clean, you'd start step 2, psychic driving. You implant new thoughts by forcing them to listen to looped audio recordings for hours and hours on end. The results? They weren't cures. They were shattered lives. People left with permanent amnesia, unable to remember their own kids, their minds scarred forever. So you have to ask, what on earth was the ultimate goal of all this destruction? And that brings us to the most chilling objective of the entire project, something pulled straight from the CIA's own memos. They wanted to know if they could create a real-life Manchurian Candidate, a programmable assassin who could be triggered to kill and then have absolutely no memory of what they'd done. And here's the kicker. According to their own declassified files, the answer was yes. One report details an experiment where they tried to push a subject to act against her deepest held fears. In this case, she had a profound fear of guns. So they put her under deep hypnosis and ordered her to kill her friend. And she did it. She picked up an unloaded pistol and fired it just like she was told. But here's the crucial part. When she woke up, she had complete amnesia for the entire event. And when they handed her the gun again, true to her nature, she refused to even touch it.
the CIA had its proof of concept. So when you connect all these dots, from a Korean War analysis chart showing up at Guantanamo Bay to the secret labs of MKUltra, you're left with a documented reality that is far stranger and, frankly, more disturbing than any fiction. And that leaves us with one pretty chilling question. If that's what was possible then, what does the science of influence and control look like today?